To take that arm brake off, some models have a bolt with a nut on the top of the frame. This one is a self-threading bolt right there. Yep. And there is the arm. This one is a self-threading bolt. When you take it off, if you let everything fall everywhere like I did, it's got the washer, some sort of cellophane plastic, and then it's got a rubber washer. And you can see where that was rubbing. And on this side, you've got the same thing. You got a washer, the piece of plastic, and the rubber. Simply a bolt. You got a lock nut on top of a little washer, and that's all you do to transfer to this one. And it's hard to over tighten because it's going to rest on that shoulder. So you've probably got a 1/16 of an inch clearance. That pulley still feels good. No noise. It's not loose. Now we'll put this back together. And that's the new one. You can see that it has been changed a little bit. It's got that large hook instead of this fabricated bracket. So I don't know how well you can see it. That hole is threaded. Some models is just a hole and it's got a lock nut on top, but this one threads directly into the deck. So it's kind of hard to get to. Get my head in there. Find the hole. Looks damn near impossible. Got to make sure everything is lined up perfectly before you tighten it down. Everything's got to be in perfect place. Nothing is off. Let me change batteries in this flashlight. This little gooder. Alright, everything seems to be together correctly. So now what I want to do, now I want to change this blade belt, the blade drive belt. This is the blade drive belt. This is the blade belt that goes between the two. This comes from the engine, turns this one, through this belt turns this one. So I'm going to take this plate off because I want to replace this belt before I put any more springs back on it. I want that as loose as it can get out of the way. That was already loose a little bit. Yesterday when I done all this, with these pulleys I laid it over, I drained the oil first because I knew I was going to change the oil in it. But now it's full of oil again, but it recommended, they say it does not hurt it sitting sideways like that. But I put this jack stand here to make sure it's perfectly 90 degrees. I don't want it to go any further. The last time we changed this belt, we went to the parts store and got a Gates belt, which has got the Kevlar coating, which is a great belt. That's what we use for HVAC. But I think when the pulley come loose, destroyed this brake, I think it also done that to the belt. So we'll slip another belt on it. Seems like it's the right size. It has to go through here. It's got to go around that, through that, inside here. And I'll see if I can do it. Let me try this way. All right. All right, there's the blade belt. When you pull the blade engagement lever, it will pull this, and everything is in line. I hope you saw that I unplugged that spark plug wire. I don't need this thing firing up on me when I turn that shaft. Everything's good there. One blade belt, and I only got a little bit of blood off of it. That's good. That's good. Didn't lose a lot of blood over that. All right, there's that. Now I need to put the brake arm tension spring back on it. Now for the transmission belt. And the transmission tension belt. Twang. All right. All the springs are back on. Let's see. Everything looks good. Everything's in its groove. All right, there's that part. That little piece of fuel line I told you about that come in the kit. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to see if you can. I'm going to point to it. Where the spring connects to this bracket. Right up in there. I can't get the camera in there. There it is, right there. You put that little piece of fuel line on the end of that hook, and you push it all the way around till it goes against the base of the plate. I would point to it, but I would lose my light. See how that little piece of fuel line goes all the way up against that plate right there? Now the spring can go on it. That spring, that piece of fuel line acts as a spacer and a cushion between the spring and that metal plate. So, and just so you know, when I put this new pulley on this arm brake plate, that needs to be 85 to 115 inch-pounds. And then this needs to be 144 to 176 inch-pounds. Believe that? All right, I got her sitting back on the ground again on the wheels. This fuel cap is going to leak a little bit because I could smell it and the table was wet. It dripped. It ran through there and there was a little fuel on the table, so be careful. Don't get mad and throw a wrench and cause a spark. Now I got to replace the brake engagement cable, blade engagement cable. It's got a push nut. Pop it off with a screwdriver and reuse that. Feed it out of here. Cut a couple of zip ties. And it goes around the engine. And it simply goes back in that little groove. And then this will hook. Where was it? Yep, it goes way under there where I showed you where that piece of fuel line went around that new hook. Okay, so I may have to raise it back up to get under there again. Well, let's see, let me pop that thing loose there. If I can do this without destroying it, I may drill a small hole through here and put a cotter pin in it instead of reusing this push nut if I can't get it without destroying it. There it is. I bent it up a little bit, but I believe it's going to be all right. I believe I can reuse it. Yeah. Out with the old. That's the only thing that's wrong with it. That right there was broke. That little keeper. It come up and it went in this hole right there. It's a shame you can't fix that. This end, you can't remove this end because it's molded on there. That kit number I showed you with the brake arm, it comes with a new cable. So for $44.95, I think it comes with the plate, the cable, and it even comes with the zip ties. So that's good. See what the new tip should look like? The old one broke right there. And that's all it does is it sticks into the handlebars. I'm having to take this loose to feed that back up through there. It's got a hole right there, but you've got to loosen it to pull this thing back a little bit. So that's what we'll do. There we go. And there she goes. Let me tighten that back down. See, this goes in that hole there.